Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our weekly team call. My name is Melissa Breslin, for those of you who do not know me. And today's team call is going to be a little bit unique. I'm really excited about it. I think it's a topic that, we don't really cover a whole lot. We kind of focus a lot on strategy and, techniques and business building, obviously, to help you guys see success as quickly as possible in your businesses. However, life can get messy. That's sort of what we're going to talk about today, is how to stay engaged when you may be going through something really, really difficult, and just how to put one foot in front of the other. And this call isn't to compare grief or struggle. It's to sort of unite us and show that none of us are exempt to the things that life will throw at us. And, we're all in this together. We all were brought to this business for different reasons, but we linked arms because we found unity within each other. And I guess I hope that this call kind of shows a little bit of vulnerability and we can all kind of connect in that way, but also in the same sense, come up with, action steps to how we overcome these, difficult obstacles in our lives and how we continue to grow businesses that are successful and that thrive. So it's, we definitely don't want this to feel like a soapbox for anyone, but we do want to show a little bit of our, our vulnerable sides. But at the same time, give tips and say, hey, you know what, you're not alone. We've gone through hard times and we're still going through them, but we're continuing to grow our businesses. So I'm going to start the PowerPoint. Again, we do have a couple other speakers. Suzanne Beck and Alexandra Street are going to be speaking on this call with me. I know you're going to love what they're going to say. You're just probably going to be hanging on every word. So I hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to start the PowerPoint. Let me know if anyone is having a hard time seeing it. And just a second here. It's going to look crazy for just a minute. All right. PowerPoint. Okay, let me quick check my phone and make sure that no one has texted saying that they can't see anything. Okay. Okie dokie. All right, like I said, today's topic is staying engaged when life gets messy. I'm going to be speaking first, and what I want to discuss is sort of how to stay engaged through a major move or a big life transition. So when my husband and I graduated from college, he was offered a phenomenal job with Nestle Purina in Atlanta, Georgia. And we are from Michigan. We grew up here. So we moved. I was out of school maybe 6 months before we were moving to Georgia. My husband had barely graduated before he received his job offer. So it was very, very quick. I started my business shortly after that move, and we sort of built this new life in Georgia, and it was hard and it was wonderful, and we really, really, it meant a lot to us. And then this past year, my husband had received an offer to partner with his parents' company here in Michigan, and that brought us home. But we did move home about a month prematurely when my brother passed away. It'll be a year on Monday. And we packed our entire apartment in, I think, less than a few hours. And we left Georgia, and I have never been back. And to this day, that's something that I still really struggle with. We had built a life there, and it meant so much to have that be part of our identity. And we came home to such a tragedy, and we were mourning so many losses at once. You know, our life in Georgia, and you know, a family member that we cared unbelievably deeply for, and I had at that time been coaching for a little over 2 years, and it was very, very difficult for me to get back to any sort of normalcy because we had lost so much. And so I'm going to kind of share, I guess, how, you know, my tips that I found helped me. Obviously, it's still something that we are journeying through, that we don't share a whole lot of, but it's something we still walk with. But days do get better. They do get easier. You can be hardened or humbled by your circumstances, and we chose to be humbled by them. So, you know, first and foremost, you guys, whatever you're facing, if you've been through a major move or transition or any sort of something that just rocks you, first and foremost, it's really important to know that you're not alone in that. No one is exempt to struggle. And know that just like you've gotten through hard times in the past, whatever you're enduring right now, you can also get through. That same strength that brought you through those hard times before is still present, even if it doesn't feel like it. But you guys, we cannot let our businesses or our lives fall apart during these tough times. What really helped me is writing a daily gratitude and affirmation journal. And you guys, there are days where you're going to feel grateful for a lot of things. And there are days when it's going to be very difficult to feel grateful for one thing because it's just going to feel so heavy, but it will pass. So your mindset is so crucial. You're going to hear that so much through this call, and it's because that's what saved us. Focus on what is most important, which is you, your family, and your business. Everything else, it's okay right now to say no to things that aren't going to help you heal and help you grow. You guys, make sure to know why this business matters to you. I know for me, you know, I could give you all of these tips, but if this isn't like your end game, it's going to be very difficult for you to stay in this. For me, there was no other option. I was meant to do this. I was meant to be an entrepreneur. I will never set foot back in a corporate setting ever again. And, you know, if I would have allowed how I was feeling to day in and day out keep me from doing just the basics, you guys, that I would have had to. I would have lost everything that I had worked for 2 years to build. You know, sometimes rejection is redirection. You know, sometimes it's really, you know, those big, you know, moments that really force you to find your strength. And, you know, that's when you really know how in this you are. And, you know, sometimes I feel that when life is so chaotic, that structure feels so good. Allow your business to be that structure. It's something that you have control over. So basically, you know, embrace that this is a season of life that is going to require more of you, and it will pass. And like I said before, you can either be humbled or hardened by difficult times. Choose to be humbled. Choose to love deeper and see things differently. Keep your mind focused on the long term. Eliminate anything that does not serve you. If you are helping, let's say, I don't know, if you're helping with, you know, a school party, or you're volunteering, or, you know, just something that you could, for the time being, step away from to make time for not only your healing and your, you know, transitioning, but also your family and for your business. Eliminate those things and stay focused on what is going to get you through this. Our first instinct is going to be to take a break from business. I will hear all the time that I want to focus on this later once I am through this. And I don't get, it's not that I'm not sympathetic, but I just know how I felt and how broken I felt. And if I would have walked away from this, I can't imagine where I would be. So just like you wouldn't abandon your kids or your spouse or, your parents or whoever is near and dear to you because you're going through a difficult time, don't abandon your business. Keep a journal of what you're grateful for. Like I said, there's going to be days that you're going to feel very grateful for, how good that coffee tastes, or the fact that you had an appetite today, or the fact that you got through the entire day without getting weepy. And then there's going to be days where it's going to be really hard to feel grateful, but keep a gratitude journal either way. And write down your goals so that you have a plan and you don't feel overwhelmed. So for me, okay, this week I want to sell 1 challenge pack and sign 1 coach. That's like when I was getting back to business after this huge transition last year, that was like, you can't go from 0 to 100. You can't expect yourself to be in the same energy that you were prior to that loss or that move or whatever it is. It takes time to get back to that. So just come up with a plan and just stick to that. Just focus on that. And then just, put your blindfolds on. Picture yourself having already overcame this. How good is it going to feel when you can turn around and say F you to that shit that you went through? How good is that going to feel knowing that you did not give up? And make sure, you guys, to acknowledge that you are going through a transition and it is okay to be kind to yourself. When we say show up, we don't mean that you need to kill yourself over this. It means show up for an hour, a half hour, whatever you can do, and then give yourself permission to go back to dealing with what you're going through. It's okay. Okay. So the first few weeks or months, you are going to feel uneasy. You're going to feel frustrated. You're going to lack self-confidence. You're going to wonder. It's going to feel very hard. And guess what? It will pass with the right mindset. You have to be willing to know that this season of life is asking you to grow, and that's okay. You can do more and you can handle more than you think. We are not given what we can handle, but we can handle what we are given. Okay? Write that down. That has saved me, you guys. It's going to feel a little bit harder when people say no. I remember I couldn't look at messages from September last year because I couldn't believe that someone would tell me no after I had just packed up my entire home and my life. And I had just lost someone I loved so dearly. And people would message me and tell me no to joining a group or becoming a coach. That's hard. Guess what, though, you guys? You can handle it. It is not up to the world to, coddle you through this. But you have people you can lean on. You have to decide to think a new thought. It's as hard or as simple as you want it to be. And people have a way of living up or down to your expectation of them. So if you are constantly feeling like everyone's telling me no, no one is interested, and I'm going through such a hard time, and how dare they tell me no, and I can't handle all of this rejection, you guys, just pause. Write down your affirmations, focus on your mindset, and focus on your personal development. You are okay. All right? It's okay to grow during this period. Focus on your mindset. Your mindset is what is going to save you, okay? Your affirmations, write them down. I tell you what, you guys, I didn't start seeing success in my business until I wrote down affirmations every single day. And I will not work until I have written them down and I have read them and I have read personal development. Because like I said, although we have overcame so much since last year, we are still walking with this. There are still days that feel heavy. It's just like, it's like a jacket. I mean, there are days when the jacket's going to feel very light and airy and it's just going to embrace you. And there are days when that jacket's going to feel like it is a heavy winter coat and you're carrying bricks in it. Yeah, either way, your mindset and your affirmations are going to pull you through those days when the coat feels heavy. Okay, it's gonna feel like there's no time. I promise you there is. Life will never slow down, but you won't always be going through this major transition. I promise you a new normal will return. We all know this quote, this too shall pass. If you want this business to give you whatever it is you desire, you have to be willing to stick it out when life gets in the way. Times change, and it's okay to change with them. Your mission stays the same. I know mine has. We're going to be talking about it later this evening on our team call with Kara about our vision. And my vision hasn't faltered. It actually has grown stronger through these difficult times. Everything in life is a gateway. Everything in life is possible because Beachbody is a gateway to it. And you are not a mystery. I promise you. It may feel like no one understands what you're going through. And they don't, because your situation is unique, just like you are. However, people can relate because they have walked the same journey. So I promise you, lean on your team, your family, your loved ones. I promise you, you're not a mystery, and you can do this because there are people who love you and who are rooting for you. Okay, these are my takeaways, and then I'm going to pass it over to Suzanne. You guys, what really helped me is just to develop a high tolerance for the unknown, the unexpected twists, and I didn't write this, but just remember to laugh, you guys. I can't tell you how many times over the last year we've just been stunned at the pain and the difficulty, and then we just look at each other and it's like you just laugh because what else can you do? It's okay that things may not be perfect right now. And maybe you're not going through a major transition, but keep this in your pocket for if you ever do. It's okay that you're going through a season of ups and downs, because just like any other, anything else, it comes and it goes and you grow. Successful coaches aren't successful because they are exempt to loss or pain or struggle. They are successful because they have found a way to stay in it through all of that. Your mindset is everything, you guys. I hope you've been able to take a little bit away from this first part of this call. And I'm going to pass it over to Suzanne, and I know she is going to nail it. So, all right, girl, go ahead.
Okay. Hang on. I have do you guys hear that?
Nope, you're good.
Oh, perfect.
Just you can just sit with your echo. Here, let me mute myself.
Okay.
Mom, close your other tabs. That'll help.
I have.
Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Okay, the echo has stopped. All right, perfect. All right. Well, hopefully give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me. Somebody text me or whatever. But anyways, thank you so much for getting on. My name is Suzanne Beck. And you know what? When we talked about this team call, we really felt, it was really important. It was a great topic because obviously everyone goes through things. If you haven't yet, you're going to. You know what I mean? And that's why we really wanted to take some time and just say, you know what, I guess life is inevitable. Things happen. You're going to have good times. You're going to have bad times. And it's just, knowing, I guess, being prepared for when that happens, being prepared, for when life isn't so great and it's kind of messy and it's chaotic. And I know all of us have been there, and we will. That will continue. It's kind of inevitable. So, anyways, we really, wanted to take some time and maybe give some tips on how we've gone through things. I'm just going to give you a very brief, just some things that I've gone through as a coach and how coaching has truly helped me through it. So I have been a coach for 7 years, and within that time, from 2010 to now, I lost both my parents. I lost my mom to cancer, and we cared for her, and hospice came in. We were with her. I lost my brother the following year to cancer as well. They both had lung cancer. And then the following year after that, I lost my dad. My dad had Alzheimer's, and my sisters and I, our whole family cared for him up until the point where we had to put him in a facility where he had more care, just because it was very difficult. It was dangerous for him, missing medications, and I don't know if any of you guys have any experience with dementia or anything like that. It's not an easy thing to go through. And so then of course last year with losing Rodney, Alex's husband, we've had our share of things go on in our life that have, definitely have definitely been challenging. And, right now, Alex and Zane are still living with us. So it is, it's a daily grind. It's a daily being flexible. It's daily, just dealing with everything, with having adult children and living with you. There's a lot of things. So through all of this, I just want you guys to know that you're not alone, and we know what it's like. So, I guess I was sitting here last night, and I was making these slides, and I wanted to give you guys some tips on just how to stay in it. Because truthfully, what I have found, and I'm going to be very simple, and I'm going to go through this fast, but what I have found is that despite everything that happened, and, all the thing that went on, Beachbody and coaching was something that totally, it gave me focus. It helped me heal. And, instead of stepping away from coaching, stepping away and trying to focus on myself and trying to get through it, I more leaned in. And obviously you take that time. And, starting here, I guess I'll get started with first steps. Give yourself some grace. And you're probably going to hear some duplication through all of our stories, because I feel like I think that's inevitable. But give yourself some grace. It's okay to be mad, and it's okay to feel sad and feel bad and shout at the world, and, literally just feel sorry for yourself. It's totally okay to do that. And I remember my mom always would say, she'd always be like, okay, I would give myself, 20 minutes, or I give myself 24 hours to feel sorry for myself, and then I'm done. It's time to move on. So I always remember her saying that. And I still try to practice that myself. So I just want to first off give you guys, listen, you have permission. Life sometimes is not fair. We go through things, and that's just part of living. And it's okay. It's okay to go through those feelings, and then it's okay to give yourself some grace. Feel sorry for yourself, kick, scream, yell into a pillow, whatever you need to do. But then it's time to move on. We don't want to stay there. Take responsibility. And, again, we may not be able to control what happens in life, but we absolutely have 100% control in how we choose to deal with it and how we choose to move forward. And I wrote in here, make your mess your message and use your struggle to inspire, because you truly have something to offer. You really do, because people, I guess as I look through, as I was going through different things, it's like, what did I want my story to be? How did I want to show my family how to go through things? How did I want to show up in the world through difficulty? And, myself, I wanted to make it be positive. I wanted to maybe honor, I wanted to honor my mom. I wanted to honor my dad, my family, move forward in a way that would make them proud, and maybe use what I'm going through to inspire someone else, or to help someone else through a difficult time. So our lives are there to help others and to teach. And so don't be afraid of the struggle. Use your struggle to inspire others. One thing that, that definitely helped, that And I'm freezing, you guys. I feel like my voice is shaking, but I have like 2 sweatshirts on. I apologize. Anyways, create morning rituals. First of all, take care of you first. That's so important. Take some time, and however that is for you, whatever comforts you, whether it's prayer, meditation, reading, affirmations, journaling, creating that gratitude list, do that first and foremost. Take care of you first. And in a way that, that was helpful to me was I did create those morning rituals. A Miracle Morning book that I'm sure you guys have heard about, and I know many of you have read. That's a really, really great way to start. That was, if you need some help in that, but, taking that time first thing in the morning, getting up earlier than everyone else and having that alone time to really focus on you and getting your mind straight. Which brings us into the next tip, is manage your mind. Personal development is crucial in focusing your mind so that it doesn't become a train wreck. It's really easy to focus on what's going wrong in our life, to focus on our problems. And, I don't know about you, but I'm a worrier. I tend to lay awake at night and just worry about, and sometimes it's the most ridiculous things. But that's what happens when we kind of let our mind go. It can become a train wreck. And by managing your mind, by being very choosy about what you let in, and and the books you read, the shows you watch, where you let your mind go is really, really important. I found that personal development is definitely a way. It's, a very good way to focus your mind on the positive and on moving forward. And it's whatever you need at that point. There may be, it may be something positive. It may be just something dealing with, whatever you're going through, but that's okay. That's okay. But just make sure that you do that. Protect your mind because it can wander. So go ahead and next slide, hon. Okay. So then from that point on, it's time to put one foot in front of the other. And, we definitely, I definitely notice this. We all go through where we have to, okay, for instance, with all of my, with my mom and dad and brother and Rodney, it was, okay, we got through, this point in time. Now it's time to move forward. It's time to get back to reality, I guess. So my first suggestion is just show up. And, I know our first reaction to pain or hurt or any struggle that's going on in our lives is to withdraw from life. It's to withdraw from our business and our friends because we're hurting. And I think that's a very natural reaction. And taking that break to focus on you is just, I think what happens, and this is my experience, is when I would take that break to focus on me, I would spiral downward, if you know what I mean. I would be so focused on me and hurt that it didn't do me any good. What I found is that showing up no matter what, get dressed, put your makeup on, do your day, fulfill what you need to do, whatever that is at home, just, even if you have to just go through the motions, show up and do it. And I found that definitely, move forward. Otherwise you get stuck. Practice the 4 vital behaviors daily. And I included this because seriously, they are called vital for a reason. And it's not just for Beachbody, because I found that, the personal development, again, what we're talking about, working out, eating well, and talking to people and inviting people, those 4, and the recognition, yes, reaching out, supporting other people, encouraging others. Those are 4 vital behaviors that we need to do each day. And truthfully, you guys, that was a focus that I could do outside of myself. You know what I mean? That way I was actively to step out of, whatever it was that I was going through, step out of my focus on me. So, it's the workouts, as much as you don't feel like doing that, what more of a stress relief is a workout? Like, I know I'm just sharing with you like what definitely helped me. And I just remember telling people, like, I was, those 4 vital behaviors, like literally they are vital. And it's not just to your coaching business, it's to life. So I just wanted to share that aspect with you guys. And this is a huge, huge one for me. Heal by helping others. This takes your focus off of how big your problems are, and it redirects it. It takes your focus off of you and what you're going through, and then you put it on others. So whenever you feel down, help someone and you will heal. I promise. That helped me so much. I just remember, after my mom passed away, and my first instinct was literally like I dove into my messages because I just wanted to like talk with people, and I wanted to be able to help someone. And it made me a more empathetic coach. It made me more understanding of other people and what they're going through. I could walk in someone else's shoes. I could relate better. So I think, there's a lot of really good that can come out of what you're going through that you can use to help others. And by helping others, you totally take the focus off of you and how hurt you are, or the pain that you're going through, or the whatever it is. And it redirects it. And I think that is incredibly beneficial. Next is know what you value. Revisit your why and use whatever you're going through to give it a deeper meaning. Determine why this business is even more important to help you with whatever that is, to keep your mind focused on the long term. Truthfully, I really had to sit down and decide. It's like, okay, is this what I want to do? Do I feel like I am making an impact? Do I feel like I am, is this, let me think of how I was putting it, but it's like, is this something that I want to do? Do I find value in this? And overwhelmingly, I did. Overwhelmingly, I knew what I valued. I knew that coaching was an opportunity to transform people's lives. It had mine, and especially during this time, it became so much more clearer to me of why this was so important to me. So it's okay to revisit that why. It's okay, and really sit down and give it an even deeper meaning. Plan and schedule is next, and this is more important than ever. Jim Rohn said, if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what? They may not have much planned for you. I didn't read that right. Anyways, but you guys understand what it means. It's like plan and schedule. And if there's ever a time that you need a plan, is when, you're pulled in a lot of directions. So definitely know, when you know what you value and your top priorities, when you know your top priorities, you can say yes to what really matters in your life, and you can let go of the other stuff. It's a good time to decide, what is it that you really want? What can you let go of? What doesn't matter in your life? So same with your business, as far as planning and scheduling. It's important that you plan when you're going to work each day. And that, again, you show up, and it's important to plan that. And I remember, we definitely took some time off last fall. We took some time off. We needed to do that. But then we also knew that we needed to get back to work. And we talked about how am I going to do this? How am I going to go from, when I was working before to now, because so many things have changed. And we, saying, you know what, I'm going to show up for an hour, and I'm going to focus on everything that, we just talked about. I'm going to work out. I'm going to focus on my 4 vitals. I'm going to focus on showing up every day. And like Melissa said, it wasn't I knew I couldn't go back to the energy and where I was prior to, And the same, you know, with each time, obviously, because your life changes. But I knew that I could show up and I could start with even baby steps. And that was what was key, is just, you know, and truthfully, as you did that, as I did that, you began to heal. It's like those actions, everything that I did, everything that we're talking about right now, were healing. And what got me from point A to point B again. So just like you know, again, I'm so empathetic, because I understand how you feel when, you know, your life is falling apart, and you know, your first reaction is to just not deal. Like, I don't have time. I don't want to deal with it. My mental capacity is gone. It's overwhelming, you know, but this is a business. And just like if you know, with a 9-to-5 job, you know, you can't just quit working because, you know, you need to work on you, or you need to, you know, take some time off. You'd get fired. And so you need to treat this business as a business as well, and know that you need to show up and you have people counting on you. And everything that we've talked about is healing, and you know, and that if you just do those steps, if you just put that one foot in front of the other, in the long run, it's going to help you through. So in closing, thank you, Melissa. So in closing, I guess the only thing I wanted to say is just lean into the support that surrounds you. We are all here for you, and Beachbody is so freaking incredible. The supportive, like, community, the culture of friends and coaches, and this positive lifestyle, you know, I can't imagine, I really can't imagine, like Melissa said, where I'd be without, you know, coaching, without Beachbody to support me through this. That this wasn't in, you know, if I didn't have this in my life, because everything that helped me move forward and everything that helped me heal in all of those situations, were part of that. We're part of coaching and what I do, you know, they were part of my business. And so lean into that. Don't step away. Lean into what you have, and let the lifestyle that we have help you heal and help you get through anything that you're going through. So thanks, hon. Alex, I believe you are next. I'm going to go ahead and mute my line.
Okay. Can everybody hear me? I'm assuming yes. Oh, I got an echo too. All right, we're just gonna start talking. Okay, so you guys, I didn't actually make a slide, so I don't know what's coming, to be honest. Melissa, is there another one coming up? Nope. Okay. Well, then I'm gonna ask if we can not screen share, and then if I can just be on camera, if possible. All right, can you guys see me? All right, I'm sorry if I don't look the best. I kind of threw myself together for this call. Okay, so I kind of feel like I didn't put anything together because I wasn't sure where I wanted to go with this, but as I've been sitting and listening to my mom and my sister talk, I just feel like I just want to have this really transparent and vulnerable conversation with you guys, because I feel like what I have to say isn't going to make as much of an impact unless you know what actually happened to me in my story, only because it was so traumatic and so tragic that I feel like the steps that I'll give you to get through that, they won't seem as impactful, or you'd be like, oh yeah, that sounds like bullshit, or it sounds too simple. They work, and I kind of need you to see where I started from. So you guys, what happened was I came home from a wedding shower. I got a phone call from my child saying that, Mom, you need to get home. Dad's laying here in a pile of blood. I think he's dead. And I know this is I jumped right into this because I don't want to pussyfoot around it. And so I rushed home, and I found my husband with a hole in his chest. He was a Marine and had a gun accident at home. That was my tragedy. That's what happened to me. And I held his hand, praying that there was a pulse. I was on the phone with 911. I had my child to deal with. Their neighbors were surrounding the yard. I mean, everybody, it was just mass chaos. And I just remember like looking around going, this isn't real. This isn't real. You know, we met when we were in 6th grade, and we grew up together, and we lived together, and we had this beautiful son, and we were just starting our lives. And I had been doing Beachbody for a little bit, and we were creating this life, this dream together. And, you know, it's like, you look at like something like this, you know, how the fuck does this happen? You know, considering that he was like the person who taught about guns, and the person who taught about, you know, he was a professional. And the problem is, like, this is where life, like, shit happens that we don't understand why, you know. And so that was what happened. And then I lost everything. You know, I had to pack up. I moved out of my house like hours later, and I literally was like going through my closet trying to figure out like, I couldn't even fathom how to like grab a sweater and, you know, how to move forward. But for some reason I grabbed my computer. Like, I don't know. I think I'm just so used to working. And then just the aftermath of that, you guys, like having to explain to my child, having to push through that. I remember laying in bed, you guys, I wanted to die. This is how tragic, you know, it's like I was laying there, and I'm not kidding you. My son wasn't enough to keep me wanting to live on this earth, because I just wanted to be with him. And it didn't seem right if he wasn't here. So, you know, I'm telling you this not to like make you sad or to make you cry, but because like when I say like I've been through shit and this is what helped me, it's because it's like, this is what fucking helps you, regardless of how big or small your problem is. And so, you know, I remember laying there and just praying like, God, like somebody please just like take me away from this. I was in so much pain. I was physically upset by it, physically hurting. I had panic attacks and I'd wake up with them, and I was just like shaking all the time, and it was just absolutely terrible. And I remember I actually looked into Tony Robbins, because I was like, I need something. Like my mind scared me, like the places that it went. And like, you guys, I'm a positive person. I'm strong. I'm resilient. But the places that it went after that were fucking terrifying. And like, I remember like thinking, I've got to get a grip on this. I've got to get a grip, because if I learned anything from Beachbody, it was like personal development, like train your mind, like you're in control of it. And like at that point in time, I felt like I had no control. And I remember listening to Tony Robbins, and he was talking about how, you know, we don't have depression, we do depression. And like, you know, what we put into our heads, like that's what we're going to experience. That's how we're going to feel. And, you know, shifting what you're focused on. And like, I was so mad at him, because I really wanted somebody to give me a way out. I really wanted to hear like it was okay to basically lay down and die, and it was okay to give up. And it was, you know, because that's all I really wanted to do. But he was like, basically, then this is what I'm going to share with you guys. These were the steps that I took to get out of that and to be where I am today, you know, a year later. And I just remember knowing that this is a formula. So we can't control what happens in our life, you know, whether it's not always something so big like this. You know, sometimes it's your boyfriend dumps you, or you lose a job, or, you know, I don't know, you've got drama with a friend or something, you know, I'm not saying that these things are small, but they are things that upset us, right? Or maybe your kid gets sick, or you're having problems at school with, you know, I don't know. You insert what's going on in your life that you like, that feels like that mountain to you. And we can't control what happens with that. We just can't. Like, life is full of problems, and the only people who don't have problems are dead people. Like, that's just a sign of life, is to have problems. But, you know, we're the only creatures on the planet that can think one thought and feel one way, and think another thought and feel another way like that. You know, we can change how we feel like that. Because have you ever been like so mad at somebody and you just already rip their head off, but then something funny happens and you just can't help but like bursting out laughing? Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, we can change how we feel in an instant. We just have to get better about doing it. So we can't control what happens to us. We can control what we focus on, though. And that's exactly what I meant by like just saying, like, you know, what are you choosing to focus on? So for a lot of you guys who are stepping away from your business, you're choosing to focus on you. You're being really selfish, actually. And it's not that you don't have that entitlement to, but like what was spoken on earlier, you need to give yourself like 24 hours to feel bad about yourself, or 23 hours in that other hour. That's your power hour, because you cannot step away from this because life happened. Remember, everybody's got problems. Everybody's got problems. The only people who don't are dead people. So you're going to go through this business, and you're going to, you know, you're going to come across major losses. You're going to come across, you know, maybe your husband lost his job, or you're going to come across a major move or illness or whatever it is. But just like what I think Suzanne and Melissa both said, is like, you know, just because something happens, you would never look at your child and be like, sorry, I just can't take care of you today. Like, I just need to step away. Like, I just can't do this. You can't, like, your business has to be the same way. Because in all honesty, without this business, I wouldn't be able to heal the way I did, have the tools that I needed, the support that I needed, and also the freedom to grieve, in all honesty, because I had built something already. I was able to go back to work in 3 weeks. I took 3 weeks off, didn't miss a beat. And not saying that that's what you have to do, but to me, like, that was healing, to come back to work and to like put my focus on other people. So we can control what we focus on. To me, I was bound and determined, like, after having like a little bit of like an epiphany, that like I was not going to be a statistic. Because when I looked at help from other widows and from other people, all I got was that, you know, you'll be fucked up for the rest of your life and you'll never be the same. And I was just like, I'm not taking that. I'm not buying that. I've never been a statistic in my entire life. I've had bad crap happen to me. I've had struggle happen to me. But I've always kind of been like that person who like defies that. And this wasn't going to be any different. So I chose to focus on becoming somebody better and like just honoring like his legacy. And and gratitude, like everybody's saying, like the affirmations, like Miracle Morning Saved Me, so anything from Tony Robbins. Next thing, you have to put an empowering meaning to what you're doing with this business, with your life. You know, to me, my empowering meaning was like, I'm going to be better for this. Like, I'm going to give hope and vision and belief and show people what's possible, because I went through something so fucking traumatic and so bad. I want people to know that if I can stand after this and I can talk to you and that I can have this energy and this joy and this passion for life, you can too. So for me, that was my empowering meaning, and that's what I chose to focus on. And the last thing you have to do, you guys, is you have to put some massive action behind it. So to me, I attacked this business. That's why I went back to work 3 weeks later. And I wasn't full force. You know, it's like weird. They were just talking like, you're never going to like come back at going 150 miles an hour like you were when you first, you know, before everything happened. Like, you're a different person, and you're not, you might have to go 2 miles an hour someday, 20 another, and like 1 the next day. Like, you just have to do your best. But what I did decide to do was take that massive action. It wasn't just in Beachbody. It was in bettering myself. So I was intentional about waking up and writing my affirmations and reading those books and listening to podcasts. And like, I became obsessed with just trying, because it made me feel better, right? And it gave me ideas, and it inspired new things. Because I noticed that when I stepped away from that, I had terrible flashbacks. I had terrible dreams. And I always felt like there was something more I could have done. But when I took my focus off of me and my pain and my suffering, and trust me, you guys, like, I still felt it. Don't get me wrong. Like, grief is something you absolutely have to process through. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about how do you move through, like, when life is so fucked up, right? I'm sorry if I'm swearing. Like, I hope it doesn't offend you, but we're just having a really honest conversation. So this is just how I express myself. But like, you know, when life is so bad and you just feel like, you guys, I had to tell myself, breathe in, breathe out. But the thing was, I just didn't ever stop trying to change up here. I didn't try to stop. You know, I knew that I didn't have a choice. And so, you know, I don't know what else I wanted to tell you guys today. Hopefully, like, I'm not like on some like rant that you can't follow. I wanted to be honest and tell you, like, when you're hearing us talking about this stuff, like, our family's been through a lot of shit. Like, I was like listening to this and I was just like, oh wow, yeah, that happened. Like, ooh, like, there's a lot of stuff. And I'm guessing that you guys have the same thing, regardless if people know about it or not. You have family drama, you've got illnesses, you've had loss, you've got tragedy, you've got shit on your plate. But the thing is, you know, we have to choose what we focus on. And you might as well make it an empowering thing. You might as well put it along with your work. You might as well like use your pain and your struggle to inspire other people versus like wallowing in it. You know, if we stay in our heads, we're dead, because we start thinking that these thoughts are our own and that nobody has ever felt this way before. You know, like, nobody's ever gone through grief. Nobody's ever gone through a loss. Nobody's ever gone through a transition or a change or something major that they had to adjust to. We think it's only us and that we're the only people who get that. The thing is, like, our brains aren't meant to make us happy. They're made to make us survive. Happiness is our job. Energy and passion is our job. And that's where, you know, those 4 vital behaviors really matter. And it's not just your business, it's for your life. And so, you know, we need to make sure that we are, as a team, when we're going through hard stuff, we're not saying ignore it. You know, I'm not into positive thinking bullshit, like looking at a garden and going, there's no weeds, there's no weeds, there's no weeds. Like we have to pull the fucking weeds and we have to keep going, right? And I know it's a Tony Robbins quote, but it's so true because we can look at our life, and I'm not saying to be naive about it. I'm not saying don't address what's going on, but we can't be so focused in our problems that we forget our mission and what we are showing up to do. And whatever that mission is to you, you know it. That's what's going to get you out of bed in the morning. That's that long-term focus. And for me, all I knew is I was in so much pain that, you know, I would have done anything to get out of that. And so I did. And I knew where to start. And it was like right up here. It was my mindset. And then it was paying it forward, because it's something, it's very healing to take care of somebody else or to help them, even if it's like 5 minutes out of your day. When you can do something for somebody else, the amount of dopamine and serotonin that floods your brain, you know, you're going to be happy as fuck. Not kidding. And maybe it only lasts for a minute if life's really, really hard, but then the next day you get up and you do the same thing. So I think that's where I'm at. Do you guys need need me to add anything or close out in any way?
I think that we could talk for the rest of the afternoon and everyone will listen to every word.
You're so nice.
All right, guys, thank you so much for hopping on. This was a very, very open and vulnerable call. And like I said, when we started, this isn't to try to trump anyone or to try to, you know, discredit what anyone is going through. This is to show you that we are all in this together. None of us are exempt, and we are, we're here for you, and there are resources. You can reach out to any of us. If you need additional help or, you know, different, you know, if you want us to go more in depth about the books we read or the strategies. But I'm going to close out. Thank you guys for hopping on. Thank you for sharing. Ladies, this was lots of Kleenexes, but amazing call. So I hope everyone has a wonderful Wednesday, and we will see you tonight for the vision board party. Bye-bye.